Good morning, students. In last lecture, we have started with the external structure of a bacteria. Now, as we already seen the different types of external structures bacteria contain. So let's start with the bacterial structure. The glycocalyx or capsule. Now, many bacteria secretes external surface layer and composed of polysaccharides or polypeptide or both. The capsule is the outermost layer of a bacteria. We are called it as extracellular. It is condensed well defined layer closely surround the cell. They are usually polysaccharide, and if polysaccharide envelop the whole bacterium, it is capsule, and the production depend upon the growth conditions. They are secreted by the cell into the external environment and are highly impermeable. When it forms a loose meshwork of fibril extended outwards from the cell, they are described as glycocalyx. And when masses of polymers that forms appear to be totally detached from the cell, and if the cells are seen entrapped in it, are described as a slime layer. Okay, so I repeat, capsules are organized and firm, attached to the cell wall, and slime layers are unorganized and loosely attached. The capsule protect against the complement and antiphagocytic. The slime layer and glycocalyx helps in adherence of bacteria either to themselves, forming colonical masses, or to surfaces in their environment, and they resist phagocytosis and desiccation of bacteria. So these are some important points when we study the glycocalyx or slime layer or the capsules. So these are some examples of bacteria. They are generally used to form the glycocalyx layer, that is Pseudomonas pneumoniae or Staphylococcus mutans or Bacillus anthracis. The next externalmost layer is the flagellum. Now, flagella are long hair-like helical filament extended from cytoplasmic membrane to exterior of the cell. Flagellum is a highly antigenic and functioning cell motility. So, your bacteria can move from one place to another place is totally depend upon the flagella present on the bacteria. The location of flagella depend upon the bacterial species as polar situation or at one or both end of bacteria, which seems in a back and forth fashion, and lateral at long the side. The part of flagella are filament, hook, and the basal body. Filament is external to the cell wall and is connected to the hook at the cell surface. The hook and a basal body are embedded in a cell envelope. The hook and filament is composed of protein subunit called flagellin. Flagellin is synthesized within the cell and passes through the hollow center of flagella. The arrangement of flagella may be described as monotracheous when the flagella is in a single unit form and it is present on only one side. Then lophotracheous, the trunk of flagella on one side. Then amphitracheous, the single or trunk of flagella on both sides. Then petritracheous, surrounded by the lateral flagella. It means all over flagellas are present on the body. Now in this structure you can observe the petritracheous flagella. So as we see that your flagella is generally used for the motility of bacteria, and the mechanism of rotation is run and tumble. Most of the time they are move towards or away from the taxis or the stimuli. Some of them are chemotaxis, that is phototaxis or magnetotaxis. Flagella proteins are containing the H antigen, and the flagella are present in some cases of bacteria, for example Escherichia coli. So this is the run and tumble. As you see, the motion of bacteria, run and tumble, as far as the flagella is used for motility of the bacteria. The next one is axial filament or the fimbriae. Now again, after the flagella, the again innermost structure is fimbriae or pili. Now see, as we see, the flagella, it is the axial filament, it is the endoflagella in spiraculates and in anchored at one end of the cell, and rotation cause of cell to move. Now in case of fimbriae or pili, they are just look like your flagella, but they are short in length. So pili or fimbriae are hair-like proteinous structure that extend from the cell membrane to external environment. The pili, which are otherwise known as fimbriae, they are thinner, shorter and more numerous than flagella, and they do not function in motility. The fimbriae is composed of subunit called pili. In flagella, the flagella are formed by or composed by the protein flagellae. In case of pili, they composed of subunit pilin. They are of two types, namely non-6 pili, that is common pili, example fimbriae, or other types of 4 and the 6 pili. The fimbriae are antigenic and medicate their adhesion to the inhibit phagocytosis. The 6 pili help in conjugation. Now the concept conjugation is nothing but transfer of genetic material from one cell to another cell is known as conjugation. Now transfer of this genetic material, that is DNA or RNA, from one bacterial cell to another cell is done by with the help of pili. The pili is become a bridge between the two cells, and the cells are transferred, the DNA material is transferred from one cell to another cell. So this is the use of pili. They are not used for motility, they are either used for adherence, or the second one, they can in case of 6 pili, they can used as the transfer of genetic material. After that, the most important part of bacterial body is cell wall. Now as far as cell wall is concerned, your bacteria can divide it into many more types, okay, mainly the gram positive and gram negative type. Okay, so let's start with the cell wall. The cell wall beneath the external structure is the cell wall. The external structure is the cell wall. It is very rigid and gives shape to the cell. Its main function is to prevent the cell from expanding and eventually bursting due to water uptake. The cell wall constitutes a significant portion of dry weight of the cell, and it is essential for bacterial growth and division. The cell wall cannot be seen by direct light microscopy and does not stain with a simple stain. It may be demonstrated by the microdissection, reaction with specific antibodies, mechanical rupture of the cell wall, and differential staining procedures, or by electron microscopy. Chemically, your cell wall is composed of peptidoglycan, mucopeptide, that is peptidoglycan or murein, formed by N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. alternating in chains, cross-linked by peptide chain. Embedded in it are polyalcohol called teichoic acid. Some are linked to lipid are called lipoteichoic acid. The lipoteichoic acid link polypeptidoglycan to cytoplasmic membrane and the peptidoglycan gives rigidity. So, what are the different functions of teichoic acid? The teichoic acid are gives negative charge, the major antigenic determinant, transport ion, anchoring and external permeable membrane. Now, as we already discussed that your bacteria are divided into gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria as far as the content of cell wall is there. Okay, as you see here, the gram-positive cell wall is here and gram-negative cell wall is here. What are the different characteristics between gram-positive and gram-negative cell wall is? A very first one, thickness. The gram-positive cells are thicker. Gram-negative cells are thinner. Where variety of amino acids are few in number in case of gram-positive cells, and in gram-negative cells there are several numbers of amino acids. In case of lipid, in gram-positive the lipids are absent, in gram-negative the lipids are present. Teichoic acid is only present in gram-positive bacteria and the gram-negative bacteria do not contain any kind of teichoic acid. So these are some main difference between the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Now, in case of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, let's start with some basic structure. The outer membrane found to be gram-negative bacteria is function as a initial barrier to the environment and is composed of lipopolysaccharide. It is composed of lipopolysaccharide and the phospholipids. The lipopolysaccharide, that is LPS layer, it is present on the cell wall of gram-negative bacteria. The account for their exotoxic activity and antigen specificity. The bacterium is referred as a protoplast when they are without the cell wall. Now this one is the cell stain mechanism. We can see it later on, but let's see this one. The bacterium is referred as a protoplast when they do not have any cell wall. The cell wall may be lost due to action of lysozyme enzyme which destroyed the peptidoglycan layer. This cell is lysed and it is metabolically active but unable to reproduce. The bacterial with damaged cell wall is referred as spheroplast. The damaged cell wall is called as spheroplast. It is caused by the action of toxic chemical or an antibody. They show a variety of forms and they are able to change in their normal form, and then the toxic agent is removed when grow on bacterial culture. Now this is the basic introduction for cell wall, flagella of bacteria and the capsule. Then what exactly we can do whenever we can do the gram staining? Now there are basic 4 steps involved in gram staining mechanism where we can use the crystal violet solution, crystal violet iodine solutions in the gram staining mechanism, where your gram positive cells are alcohol dehydrate peptidoglycan and crystal violet iodine crystals. They do not leave the cell and remain as it is in a violet color. In gram negative cell wall, alcohol dissolve outer membrane of the cell wall and leave the hole in a peptidoglycan. So that's why whatever the basic color of violet you have already colored with the bacteria, it is get washed off. So this is it for the outermost structure of bacteria. Thank you.